Hey everybody, welcome back. So some breaking news on the Canada Post strike. Here we go. I just got an email a few minutes ago talking about operations are going to resume. So a couple of days ago I put up the video that the government was stepping in and going to force Canadians back to work. Seems like they've done it. So I'm just going to read the exact notice that I just received from Canada Post. And this is directly from the Canada Post site itself because I'm like subscribed. I use their app and stuff like that. So this is to me as a small business who's registered with them. Postal operations to resume on Tuesday, December 17th, following the CIRB ruling. So on the 13th, the Minister of Labour established a process with Canada Industrial Relations Board, CIRB, to assess the likelihood of Canada Post and the Canadian Union of Postal Workers, CUPW, reaching agreements by the end of 2024. Employees return to work on December 17th and the resumption of service to begin. After 2 days of hearings, the CIRB has issued its ruling confirming that the parties are at an impasse. As a result, they have ordered employees to return to work and postal operations to begin to resume at 8 a.m. local time on Tuesday, December 17th, 2024. We will share further details shortly, but want to remind customers and employees that our operations will remain closed on Monday, December 16th. I would imagine, since it's 2:30 p.m. in my local area on that day. What this means for your business. Given the timing and duration of the strike, when our operations resume, we will need to begin processing the mail and the parcels trapped in our network. Trapped is the right word for it. It will take time to clear out our network, so customers should expect delays in processing and delivery. Some limitations will apply, so this is what I was wondering. Some limitations will apply for the first 48 hours after our operations resume, including for pickups and drop-offs. Because of this, we will not receive or pick up new product until Thursday, December 19th. Really, that's only 2 days. That's pretty crazy. And then, they just talk about, we're committed to giving you as much information as possible, blah, 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 blah. There is another section after this that I figured I would read. Retroactive pay increase to employees as the process unfolds. So we look forward to welcoming our employees back to work and serving the millions of Canadians and businesses who rely on our services. While the terms of the existing collective agreements will be extended until May 22nd, 2025, we also put forward an offer to implement a wage increase of 5% for employees, which was proposed in the company's last global offer. With both parties in agreement, the wage increase will be retroactive to the day after each collective agreement expired. So I guess that means, it's going to be all retroactive. An upfront payment before Christmas of $1,000 for all CUPW represented regular employees, full-time and part-time, and $500 for temporary employees based on a minimum number of hours. Oh, okay, so this is a portion that they're going to pay up front now, even without having things settled, and it could be until May or even after that. They are going to give a bulk sum, probably to help people, who've been without work here. So, I mean, I don't know if this is something they needed to do, but this seems like a reasonable thing to do. Okay. And then they just talk about, our commitment has always been to reach negotiated agreements with CUPW that would help us better serve the changing needs of Canadians and provide good jobs to those who provide the service. All right. I got to be honest with you, I'm a little bit surprised that this actually went through and that people are going to be forced back to work. I saw Matt Cart's video, I think it was yesterday, talking about sharing an article or sharing, a statement from somebody in Alberta who basically said, we're going to refuse. We are going to refuse to go back to work even if they try to force us back. So I guess this doesn't really mean for sure that everything's going to open up and be running at, capacity and all that kind of stuff. So very interesting. We'll see how it goes. My local, I'm actually friends with a couple of people who work at my local post office, so I'm going to send them messages and ask them hey, what do you think is going to go on here? Obviously, I can't send anything through Canada Post until at least Thursday, but this actually works out really well for me. I'm going to tell you why. Okay. So when I updated my eBay stuff, I did on some of the lower value items, or maybe not even lower value items, but the lighter albums still use the Canada Post Expedited Light parcel as an option to calculate shipping for some people. And it's because I didn't want it to be boosted too high. And I figured, you know what, that should capture it pretty accurately. Well, somebody yesterday bought a couple of PS3 games from me in a very rural area, or like very remote area of British Columbia. And they paid a total of, on one of them, $9.38 or something like that for the expedited light. And then somehow, one of the other games still had Canada Post letter mail in there as a shipping option, even though I know I've gone in and changed all this. So I'm going to have to check all my listings. And they only paid $2.99 for that. So without Canada Post open and available, you know, they've only paid 11 something. It actually will cost, if I go through, like, you know, doing through Stallion Express or whatever, it's going to cost like $25 to ship to that person. And that's either like through Stallion Express, or I think I looked in NetParcel as well. So that's a case where I was like, okay, oh no, what am I going to do? I didn't pull that order this morning when I packed up all my other ones, because I was like, you know what, I'm just going to hold off a couple minutes here and just think about that one, because it just happened overnight. I woke up to it today, so I've got lots of time to figure it out. I was like, I don't know, maybe Canada Post will be back. Let's see how this, you know, review goes. You know, it could work. So in this case, that's actually going to work out really well for me, because I can send those out that way. You know, and not have to pay an extra like $12 in shipping. But yeah, this is crazy, man. I don't know. Like, it'll be interesting to see how it actually goes. I would imagine that there's probably a lot of people who are happy to get back to work, because they're like, you know what, I need some wages. And obviously this retroactive amount that's going to be paid out in advance, these lump sums, are going to help people out right before Christmas. I mean, there's only 9 days left, I guess, but I mean, you know, a full-time employee who hasn't been earning a wage over this last month, to just get $1,000 of the retroactive pay now, like, that's got to feel good. So, you know, again, I'm not like, oh, you know, simping for big business and stuff like that, or claiming that Canada Post, the company, isn't at some fault here, or whatever else. But I do think that is a good sign. I think that's a sign of good faith. So yeah, I mean, I like that. I like to see that. I think that's a good news story, and what's been a very bad news story overall. So what else here? Yeah, waiting 2 days. I gotta be honest, I think even like 2 days, that's not gonna be enough time to clear things out. I think we're still gonna see significant delays throughout January, and probably even into February, as things are continue, you know, as they work through that backlog, you know, a month of backlog. There's going to be a huge influx of new stuff that people are going to be trying to ship out in time, and hoping it'll get there for Christmas. Don't be that person. Like, don't assume that you're going to drop something off on the 19th after they first resume operations, and that you're going to get something there by Christmas. That's idiotic. Don't be that person. And I guess, you know, like for me, I know that the people who work in the post office are not necessarily part of this, and you know, probably didn't really have much choice in the matter. So like, I know, for example, the you know, the woman who manages my local post office is an extremely kind and nice person, and who's had to take a lot of shit from people over this last little while, and it, you know, it's completely out of her control, and not something that is even a part of her union. She's in a different union. So it's I guess it'll be a good reminder for people, just, you know what, just be kind, you know, be nice to the people as you go back in and resume operations with Canada Post. If you do, it's not everybody's fault. It's certainly not the clerk in the post office who decided to do this to you and ruin your Christmas. So just throw that little reminder out there. But yeah, I think this is an interesting step. I did not think it was going to go like this, if I'm being honest. I did not see this actually happening. I'm surprised. I know this is going to be very controversial from my last video. There's a lot of comments talking about how this is government overreach and just complete nonsense and shouldn't be allowed, and I imagine there'll be a lot more of those comments. And you know what, I can't say I disagree, although it is nice to have it up and running again, so there's that. But anyways, let me know what you think. Yeah, flood these comments down below. This is interesting, man. I did not see this happening. But hey, in the case of my 2 orders that I accidentally, I'll look at my phone case. In the case of my 2 orders that went out accidentally with Canada Post rates that would cost me way too much to send through Purelator or something, this is good news. Oh, I guess this would actually help out Purelator and UPS as well, because they're obviously swamped, completely overwhelmed, taking on the extra load. So maybe this helps to alleviate their pressure as well. But anyways, that's it. Thanks very much for watching. Continuing saga, and we'll see what happens from here. Have a good one, guys. Peace.